on. Good morning. Alright, so I'm dressed for church. You kind of wear the same clothes over and over again. I can see you now. Yeah. God, this spring is driving me crazy, if you didn't know. So, these problems with this corn, you're going to see that it's rectifying itself, clearing up, which is great, you know. The problems with the soybeans, we had problems with corn and soybeans this spring, just relentless problems. Now I'm seeing Japanese beetles. We did get some rain last night. I'm not sure how much. I'll take a look at the rain gauge, but so on the soybeans we had slugs. On the corn we've got an unknown issue. I'm kind of starting to think that it is a compaction issue, but not a compaction issue, because the ground, to be very honest with you, the ground is, it's hard anyway, but all winter long we were pounded and pounded and pounded with rain, and the corn stalks can only diffuse a little bit of that, well, only a limited amount of the compaction you're going to get from the rain. We did go through with a vertical tillage machine. We tilled it about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. And then, of course, that tilled it up a little bit like that. Put the seed in, and I'm not sure, but I'm kind of thinking that those roots in that upper layer, I don't know whether the nutrients that we put out are tied up in that upper layer and not getting down in where the main root mass is supposed to be pulling it up from. And then that 2.5 weeks of not enough rain. We had 2/10, 1/10, 2/10, here and there, which is enough to just keep it going, the plant's going, but it's not enough to really flush that nutrient up into the plant. Well, the nitrogen and stuff, the tissue analysis had come back that the nitrogen levels are right where they should be, or a little bit high for the age of the plant, but there was no color there. So anyway, sulfur, magnesium is what we put out. Sulfur and magnesium should allow that plant to have color. I guess sulfur and magnesium are quite movable in the soil. I don't know. We'll find out. Ammonium sulfate was the main sulfur source, and then K-mag was the other. So K-mag is sulfur, potassium, and magnesium. And I put that on some soybeans just to see what that would do with the beans. I put some 19 on soybeans yesterday. The whole goal is to get that water to wash that 19 into those bean roots and outgrow the deer, which you can outgrow deer if your beans are vigorous and have enough food. A lot of people use soybeans as a secondary crop. We're not into the secondary crop thing. It is a main crop, so treat it like a main crop. At $11 beans, I sold beans. I didn't sell near enough beans, but I sold one 5,000 bushels of beans at $11.75 or 4, and I sold another at $12.05. So I got 10,000 bushels of beans sold, one at $12.05, which is about $1 above what they are now. So that's an extra $5,000 in my pocket, which will pay for the fertilizer that I'm going to put out, which will then in turn give me a yield bump, hopefully, if we get the rain that we need and the deer don't devastate me. So, but anyways, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go to church, and then I'll be back. All right, I'm going to be talking to my camera again. Ooh, I sounded like Joe Biden for a second. I'm going to walk across the road here to a field that you don't see too much of very often, if ever. And we're just going to take a peek down here. This is a pretty steep hill. I'm at the top, and then you look way down there. Pain in the ass. Steepest part is over there. I'm really happy with the results now. There's a deer presence here that is awful. Okay, it's awful. Probably didn't help that because I didn't help it with the peas, because the peas just brought the deer out into the field, and They just really, they're just relentless. And they come along and they do stuff like this. Destroy it. They destroy it. They're awful. But, you know, hey, is what it is. And it's all part of farming. And we just need to figure out how we're going to fix these problems. The chemical rep is on his way here. I put my fertilizer on, which is K-Mag. We put 50 pound of K-Mag, so you can do the math if you want. 50 pound of K-Mag, and this is the reason why I did it, is right here. So you see how yellow these leaves are? I mean, they're yellow, they're striping, but they're not dying. And it seems like where there's heavy residue, that it seems like where there's heavy residue, it's worse, right? So there's heavy residue here, right? And then you go down here. Look, I mean, you can't deny it. There's a seed. No, that's ESN. So there's heavy residue here. I planted through that residue just fine. And then you get down here where the residue is nowhere near as heavy, and the corn looks really good. So, I mean, there's that. What the heck, right? Why is that? I don't know. And those are the things that I'm trying to find out. Did the chemical tie up on did the atrazine tie up on the residue, and then when it rained wash onto the plant, causing it to have this issue, which is fine. I can deal with that. I've used atrazine over top of corn that's this high before and never had an issue. But, you know, and it's coming back. This is burned from my elbow. This is burned from the fertilizer. So we got some fertilizer burn there. I'm quite happy with what it's turning into from what it was. Maybe I should have just closed my eyes, walked away, made some hay, and then came back in 2 weeks and looked at this instead of having. But you know what? This is a year. This is one of these years where you just can't not be vigilant. You can't not be vigilant. Like, if you are not vigilant, and I'm not saying that every year you can, that there are years that you shouldn't be vigilant. I'm just saying that it's extra important to be out here looking at what is going on here, because this could turn into a nightmare in a hurry. It could turn into a major nightmare in a really short time. Like, I could come out here and it could be, I went and made hay for 3 weeks, and it could be a V8, stage V8, and I've lost significant amount of yield because I didn't come in with the K-Mag, the ESN, and the AMS. That could have been a problem. It could have been like, oh my God, you idiot, and then you lose 20, 30 bushels to the acre yield. And there goes your profit. There goes any profitability. You pay no bills. You are unable to function in the future, and life sucks for a while, which we really don't want to have to deal with. But yeah, I'm actually kind of happy. You can see, I don't know if you can, but I can. Okay. And this farm goes from here. There's a huge field over there. It used to be 2 fields, but I made it one huge field. And I'm going to zoom in. Well, maybe I'm not going to zoom in. Maybe it wanted to zoom in. I don't know. I'm going to try and make this thing zoom, okay? Where are we? You see that hole in there? Through the trees where that dead tree is? And you can see rows out there. And that field is about 4 football fields long. Yeah, it's about 4, maybe 5 football fields long. And I'm going to show you another culprit right down in there. There's a deer at the tip of my finger. Right at the tip of my finger, there's a deer where that dead tree is in a Y there. It's flickering its ears. If I had a rifle, I'd shoot it. But yeah, I'm happier than I was 2 days ago. I can tell you that. You can look down the rows and it actually looks pretty good. So I really do think, oh, come on. Hold on here. I'm trying to flip this. I really do think that we've got it solved. I just want some clarification on some of this corn now. Why did it turn yellow? I know that the nutrients were there. I do. I really, truly do. Do I, even whatever they say, I may even say that, I still believe there's a chemical interference that was caused by the cold weather. Could be. not a terrible thing to assume. Now, I don't put anything in row anymore, but I haven't for years, even before 2015 when I planted my last corn and didn't start planting again until 2020. That corn, I broadcast, right? I broadcast a lot, you know, and it was like, oh, well, this works really good. 2 years ago, well, this was the year that I was just going to do tissue analysis and then come back in, which I'm glad I did. I mean, I was still according to plan, except it's dry. That's a hell of a hill. I feel like I'm so out of shape. It's like, oh, somebody went up this road and I didn't catch him. So, yeah. Hold on a second. Make sure we don't have a unsuspecting county worker like, what the fuck are you doing? Anyway, yeah, we're still according to plan because of the tissue analysis is exactly what I was going to do. I didn't deviate from that. I just did it in more of a panic, right? And that was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, Monday, this coming Monday. So the tissue analysis came back. I have posted it. You have seen it. So if you haven't seen it, you go back 2 videos or 3 videos and you'll see it at the very end of the video. I posted, I posted all 3 of them. So I'm actually, when I'm done talking with these fellows when they get here, I'm going to go up to where I've sprayed Interline, which is Liberty herbicide, along with some Callisto, or not Callisto, why do I keep calling it Callisto? Clarity. I want to see if it's bowed the corn any, and I want to see if that corn is green enough, because this here was worse than that was, and I spread fertilizer a day after this. So that was Monday I did this, Tuesday I did that, Wednesday morning I took the spreader back, yesterday I was spraying and discovered that we have a slug problems in soybeans, so we have to replant that place. I VT'd the rest of the day until dark, and here we are today. So for the last 8 minutes I've been talking, and hopefully these guys get here. They said 15 minutes, so that's been about, you're getting close. They got to be getting close to here. So I'll just put this camera away, and yeah, we'll see what they say. I'm hoping we can do some digging and see what they say. I know this ground is hard too, and that'll be discussed, but I got to tell them exactly what I used on here so that they can come up with a determination of what I have, or whatever, you know, what I have done versus what it is looking like. So anyhow, yeah, there we are. Okay, so I'm back out standing in my field again. All right, so these are soybeans, obviously. The meeting went well. Actually was quite pleased with the results. I wish I'd have planted these beans a little thicker for a couple of reasons. We had major slug issues here, major slug issues. I think they'll be just fine as long as we don't have major deer issues, which can happen. I'm seeing a little bit of aphid issues here, which piss me off. I really don't want to spray insecticide. But got plenty of moisture there. Could be a little bit more. Once it canopies, it'll hold that moisture a little longer. This is where there was wheat. It's the farm I'm trying to purchase. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to talk about the meeting and what we have pretty much determined is going on. So it's not chemical. It is not chemical at all. It's not a deficiency. It's a deficiency, but it's not a deficiency. What it is there because it's either weather or soil related because of rainfall, compaction. There is a hard pan there because of what I said earlier about the soybeans and soybeans, wheat for many years. That causes a problem, and so there's this hard pan there. I told him, I said, look, tell me the honest truth. I don't want no bullshit. I want to know in your honest opinion, am I screwing up? If I'm screwing up, I want to know so I can learn and not have this problem. And they said, everything you're doing here is right. Blew my mind, kind of. You know, I'm going to take a bow to that. Everything you're doing here is right. You're moving in the right direction. Things are going to do well. We think you're through the problem. The problem being that there is a deficiency at a point, and the corn has now grown through it. I've thrown on my nitrogen application along with the K-Mag and stuff, which is getting things going. It's actually working its way through. So with that being said, I'm quite happy with the results of that. They took soil tests. We have the result of the tissue test. The soil tests are going to be, they're going to come back to me in a few days, and he took 3 very, I think he did a good job pulling soil tests. But anyway, I'm here in the soybean field. I'm going to show you where I did my Ukrainian seed replant. And you can see that they are catching up, right? They're catching up. They are there. I didn't plant them thick enough. I wish I'd have planted them thicker, but is what it is. They will fill in. These are going to branch out, and we're hoping to get at least 290 bushels to the acre off of this. That's what they're claiming, 290 bushels, which is total BS, because everybody knows that I am just a BS artist, right? But I'm not bullshitting about the meeting. That went really well. Came back in here because we did have more problems with deer and slugs after I replanted with the corn planter. So this is the corn planter beans right here, and this is the grain drill beans. And corn planter put them in a little deeper than I wanted them to, but you can see 30-inch rows. So I'm gonna call this a success on this. We'll see what happens till it hits canopy. You can see that this ground is pounded by rain, and it is hard. What the hell is that? Oh, that's a seed. They're still popping up. They're still popping up. They were under the soil because it's hard. The ground is, as ridiculous as this is, we did add more nitrogen. We did add more lime to this. We put another 1.5 tons of lime to this as well. So calcium levels are good. pH is good. Magnesium might be a little bit lacking. I'm probably going to put some triple 19 on this at 50-pound rate, just because when we get rain, I'm going to do it. And we're going to try and push these beans to 80 bushel, 90 bushel beans, which I think we could very easily do as long as the water is there for us. So I do have some really nice soybeans as well. These beans don't look terrible other than that replant issue there, and that was because of slugs. Where the slugs got me, the deer came in, and now the deer are gone because of the Penergetic application. So that took them out. I have 800 acres of soybeans, okay? Wrong. 750 acres of soybeans. I planted soybeans on a farm where the slugs got them, and I said, fuck it, I'm going to go ahead and put corn in. On the 20th of June, I planted the corn. Corn's up and running. Tim's got fertilizer on it. I've left the soybeans to grow, and I'm going to leave them grow for another couple of days, and then I'm going to go in. When I'm done spraying my soybeans, I'm going to go in and I'm going to spray that corn and terminate the beans with the atrazine and the prowl and clarity. The clarity is not going to kill them because they are extend beans, but the atrazine certainly will. The beans are actually a weed at this point. What few soybeans are there? But the slugs aren't bothering the corn, according to Tim, because all the grass is dead. And he says, I just see soybeans and some other broadleaf weeds, but not much. And I'm pretty sure that was my wife, because she's impatient. So with that being said, have a nice day. I am quite pleased with the results of that meeting. I'm very happy. So yeah, we're going to go and check another field where I sprayed Liberty and Clarity on, and that was on Wednesday, so they should be showing signs of dying.